Welcome to your mum's house. Back in the shed, working on this 2000s shitbox off-roader. Big, heavy sucker. These are pretty good. Just about some of the most quality gear ever made, really. This really does take a beating. But yeah, that's an 082 Koyo, Japan. Very nice item. So this thing's going to be coming part of the Rodeo. Doesn't get any better than this. This is about what she's about. The only thing you'd probably bother with, actually, unless you had maybe some American stuff. But that is good. Cross tubes in the chassis. So we've got some heavy wall. These are actually made up on a lathe. So we've got a 14mm hole here. Made the holes 14mm as opposed to 12mm, just to put in a bigger bolt. And the washers fit very nicely inside the machine circle, like the machine part on the outside that the bolt goes through. I'll show you what I mean later. But it is very nice, and just a nice bolt upgrade, which is really cool, and it's very easy to do. So we've done that, so we're going to get these fitted. One done, that's just tacked in there. Had the steering, this is what I've been doing all the measurements off. So this one is essentially in, and that's where it goes. No hole needed for that one. This one, this one, and this one. This one up the top here, it's going to kind of stick halfway through the chassis. Oh, I love it! Alright, that's just as easy as that. Really nice machine. I fucking love this thing. Got those cross tubes in, and I've got the box mounted on top. So there it is, everything is lining up really nicely. You can just see everything there. Now bear in mind that that's the gap needed for the frame plating. So that everything will be flush. So we'll put the frame plating on. Nice and tight, not all gappy and shit. Shame about that chassis hole. Gonna have to do a bit of tack fill, a little bit of pulse welding on that one. But that is pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with how that is sitting. What we'll do, tack that into position, then we'll pull the box off, tack the rest of it, put the box back on, make sure it's still good, and then afterwards we'll just give them a run each side, and then what we'll do is we'll prep up the frame plate, get the holes cut in the frame plating, and then get that frame plate on. Let's do it. Oh, beautiful. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. give these a couple tacks, and then we'll just chuck the box back on again, and then we will just start putting some weld into it. Okay, so a bit of partial welding. So we'll just need to give these a flap disc down because we've got to put our holes in our overplate. Chamfer out the back of our overplate. Just skim that all the way down so that we don't have to chamfer too much out of the plate. And yeah, then we'll get that plate on. But yeah, that's enough weld for now. What we'll do, we'll go around the other side and we'll just weld those ones off too. Right hand frame rail. This is where we're going to be putting our holes for our steering box. So what we'll do, go get this curved up because the chassis does kind of curves in a little bit. That's why all these plug welds here. It's just going to help me curve that plate and also give it great bondage for the chassis there. So that is going to be cool. So we'll place that up on the frame rail. We'll mark the holes from the back. Right, I've got all that in. So I've plasma cut those holes in the plate. Now I've mounted the plate up ready for tacking. So there we have it. Curved that up, pre-curved that up. Just a couple little bends. I just wedged it in between the tray and gave it a couple of doot, and doot. And now we've clamped that all on there. So now that we have no air gaps behind here for a superior fitment. So yeah, that's a lot of clamps, but we'll just go ahead and start getting this tacked on. Do a couple of stitches, do a couple of runs on the plug welds here. And yeah, I'm not going to be welding that out all at once because that can get very hot. So we'll just do little bits at a time until it's fully done, because we're going to be running this going to be fully welded so that there's no water ingress behind the plate. All the way along the top, sides, all the way underneath, just around the entire plate, all on the back part here. And yes, we'll just take our time with it. But that's it. That's it for this side essentially. Okay, on to the next side. So exactly the same as the other side. Obviously this side doesn't have the steering box on it, so very, very easy. It's just a matter of getting the plate on, which I have done. So there's that plate rigged up. No air gaps behind that steel plate. And I did make a couple little mods. I did this to the other side as well. If you can see there, this is like a bit of a staggered plate. So I've just taken out that 3mm there, just so that it's a nicer fit. And I did take about 10mm off the end here so that it wasn't butting up against the body mount, just for ease of fitment, just like the other side. So yes, exactly the same as the other side. We'll just tack weld it all in different spots, lots of tack welds. Then we're going to incrementally weld it so that we don't have any warping. So do a bit of weld, have a little break, do a little weld, have a little break, and that is how we'll do it. And this side should be done in no time. Very excited for this. Cannot wait to get this thing off-road. Gonna be an absolute beast. Time to lay down some bird shit. Let's do it. So, playing with brackets. Starting to put together the plasma cuts, laser cuts. These particular ones are plasma cut, not laser cut. It's just what was available at the time. I do prefer laser. It's a much nicer finish. Sometimes you don't actually have to deburr it. But yeah, plasma, yeah, the holes always end up on a slight angle, and yeah, you always have to drill them or die grind them, and leaves you with a slag. There's always like a bit of a slag, but that's okay. Anyway, so we're here playing with brackets. So I've started to construct one of the coilover towers for the Rodeo. Looking pretty cool. Just need to put the top on. That's a part for the hose for the remote canister. Comes out the back there and can be mounted up in the engine bay or somewhere in the wheel well. So that's for that part to go through. And we've got a whole heap of other brackets here. We've got the panard, and that is like a funky, awesome panard to get our optimal angles. So yeah, it actually hangs just below where the pitman arm sits. So we're going to try and make that, be able to remove the pitman arm with this bracket on. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We got the diff mounts for the coilovers. I've actually got a couple of different brackets to try out. So we'll do that. We've got the cross member brackets. The other coilover tower here has your flat pack. So we'll probably start doing that one. We got hydro bump mounts to do. And yeah, a whole heap of other little gussets and stuff like that. There is a bit of box section, 150 by 50 by 5 mil. And we're gonna start building our 4-link cross member. That's gonna be exciting. I can't wait to start doing that. But yes, progress is coming along very, very well. We've got the frame plates both sides in. We've got the steering box done with all the cross tubes, finally all starting to come together. So our frame plating is done, looking beautiful. Very, very happy with how that fit. So I did quite a good job of tracing that on the CAD. And there we have the driver's side. Got a temporary shaft in here. I'm not awfully happy with it, and probably do a different design there. I'm not a fan of that. But anyway, we'll do that. We'll research and develop that bit later. So yes, got our steering box properly mounted with the correct cross tubes and a nice pull-up plate there that rests upon the edge of that steering box. Give that a little bit more rigidity. And yeah, that just ended up fitting so well. So stoked. We've ditched the bolt-on. So we've ditched the bolt-on diff application completely because it's just gonna suck. Honestly, not even a fan of that anymore whatsoever. Like these big ugly plates that hang down, you know, that's 50 mil diff clearance that we're losing. And it's just crap, and the Nissan brackets on the diff, the stock is just fucking atrocious how they're welded on. Like it looks like the first year apprentice has, you know, put the fucking diff together. That's how terrible Nissan's welding was at the time. So I just know those brackets are just gonna crack and rip off with what I'm gonna be doing. So we're just gonna cut it all off, and we're just gonna make it exactly how we want it. It's gonna be streamlined, it's gonna look fucking sexy, it's gonna be functional, very, very functional. And we're gonna just get so much more diff clearance. We're gonna have, you know, that 50 mil down hang gone. That's gone. So, you know, we're theoretically going up tyre sizes right here without having to change the tyre size. So that's the way I'm looking at it. You know, it was a great idea, and you know, I know there's no 4-link bolt-on available for a freaking Isuzu, but you know, there's probably not much market for one anyway, and you can't beat welding. It's just a superior way to build something. So it's going to be welded on a heck of a lot better than the stock bracketry. I'll just show you what I mean, if you can see. So yeah, the stock brackets, not only is the welding awful, there's all these breaks. They've got these, you know, breaks in the welds here, and they just crack. They crack all through here. The brackets are only like 4 millimeters. I mean, these holes are flogged out more than your fucking baby mama. And yeah, these hats, I mean, they just look crap anyway. And yeah, just that's it. I've made my decision. We can't be using the stock brackets. That's it. Putting my foot down. But yeah, that's where we're at. We'll start getting all these brackets built and have fun doing that. That is just some workshop welding, essentially, putting some little brackets together and just, you know, kind of zoning out and putting bits and bobs together and deburring stuff. So we'll start doing that. Finish off the coilover tower. Get those all welded up. Get the upper and lower mounts for the links and the cross member, and start getting all this stuff underway.